येनाक्षरसमां नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। अज्ञानान्धस्य लोकस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्. We discussed various sutras which are related to Achsandhi in the previous classes. These were the sutras we discussed starting from Iko Yanachi 6177 Yecho Yavayavaha Vantoi Pratyaye up to Prutyakaha Aplutavadupastite E Chakravarmanasya. In this class and tomorrow and day after tomorrow classes also, we shall revise whatever we have learned so far. So, if you consider a case of O followed by Akara, we have this sutra to be applied here, Echo Yavayavaha, but other sutras like Yenga Padantadati, Nasignasocha, Autom Shasoho are also applicable in some contexts. So we have to know which sutra to be applied depending on the context. Just by saying O plus A, we can't say it is always Echo Yavayavaha. So we need to know the Utsarga Apavada relationship between the sutras, or what we call as Badhya Badhaka Sambandha. Sutranam मध्ये यद्भवति तद् अद्य अस्मिन् वर्गे अध्ययनं कुर्मः. So we shall study about the Badhya Badhaka Bhava between the sutras in Aksandhi Prakarana in today's class. So first we shall take the cases where Akara is followed by Akara. Here Akara represents all its 18 Savarnas in both Paravarna position as well as in Purvavarna position. By the sutra, Anudit Savarnasya Cha Pratyayah. Unless it is Adesha in Adesha, the and letters they represent all their Savarnas. So in all the cases of A plus A, the default sutra is Akasavarne Dirgaha. But there are other sutras also which can be applied depending on the cases. So these are the sutras. These are the possible sutras which can be applied in A plus A cases. In these, that Pluta Pragruhya Achinityam and Angonanasika Shandasi, there will be Prakruti Bhava. Other sutras, there will be Sandhi. The first sutra in the list was Adgunaha, but this Adgunaha, by Adgunaha, whenever Akara is followed by any H letter, there will be Gunadesha. But that will be blocked by Akasavarne Dirgaha. Whenever Akara is followed by its Savarna, that is any 18 types, any one of those 18 types, then there will be, instead of Gunadesha, there will be Dirghadesha, Savarna Dirgha. So, Akasavarne Dirgha blocks all the case of Akar, blocks Adgunaha in all the cases of A plus A. So, there is no scope for Adgunaha to act in the cases of A plus A. So, we shall delete that sutra because we don't apply in any of the cases where A is followed by A. So, by deleting Adgunaha, we have these sutras. So, let us take Akasavarna Dirgha. We are very familiar with. Whenever Akara is followed by Akara, we have Dirgha Akara. So, all the remaining sutras come as Apavada to that sutra. The first one is Artascha 6190. By this sutra, whenever art, that art agama is followed by akara, then there will be ruddhi. That is dirgha. Dirgha is a ruddhi letter. So there will be ruddhi. Anyway, akasa varna dirgha also gives the same result, but this sutra is not constructed for the cases of a plus a. It is for the cases where that art is followed by ik letter. Usually there will be by adgunaha there will be gunadesha, but we want ruddhi adesha there also. So a plus ik there will be ruddhi by atascha. But this by this sutra, whenever this art is followed by akara, there will be ruddhi by this sutra. So we have to say whenever art is followed by this adise dhatu here, a is followed by akara. So both combine to form ruddhi. That is dirgha. We shouldn't say this is by akasa varna dirgha. This is by atascha. Similarly, art agama is followed by as dhatu. Here dirgha is there. Here also there will be ruddhi adesha. Purva and para they combine to form ruddhi. So this is by this sutra. So the second sutra is omangoscha. Whenever akara is followed by ang, then we have pararupa, that is a. Again, so akasavarna dirgha gives the same result, but it is specific to the cases where there is akara followed by some other ajadi dhatu, where there will be sandhi. But by this sutra, if a word if a word which ends with akara is followed by that upasarga, then there will be pararupa between those two. Then we have to make the sandhis between the that resultant letter and the first letter of the dhatu. So in this case of adya, a plus inkati, usually we do sandhi with a plus e, it becomes a, but actually that a has two letters, a plus a, sorry, a plus e. So this dia, that yakarottara a is followed by ang. So by this sutra omangosha there will be pararupam between them by blocking ruddhirechi, which was supposed to be done between yakarottara akara and ekara, that is blocked. So we do that yakarottara akara plus a of ang, that becomes a. Then that a plus e of inkati, they become a. Adyankati instead of adyankati. Ato gune. So that atascha is with respect to atagama. Omangoscha is with respect to that ang upasarga, which follows akara. Then ato gune, whenever apadanta akara is followed by guna letter, any guna letter, a, o are called as guna. This rasva is also a guna letter. Whenever apadanta is followed by guna letter, then there will be pararupam. So pat a anti, here that first purva varna is not at the end of a pada, it is apadanta akara. It is followed by akara, which is a guna letter. Now there will be pararupa adesha, pat plus anti, patanti. Next, pratamayo purva savarnaha. Whenever akara is followed by akara of any supratyaya which belongs to pratama or dvitiya, then there will be purva savarna dirgha. So purva savarna by this sutra, this a plus a becomes a only. Pratamayoho refers to this six pratyayas, among which s, au and au, out, they are not, they do not start with rasva akara, or they don't start with akara. So we are interested in those pratyayas which start with akara, because we are studying the cases where a is followed by a. So even starts with akara, but there is a separate sutra ami purvaha. So that blocks this pratamayo purva savarna also. So then we are left with jas and shas pratyaya, whose drushya rupa are us in both the cases. So Rama plus jas or Rama plus shas in both the cases, us is the drushya rupa. Actually, the sakarottara makarottara akara is a apadanta akara. It is followed by akara of the pratyaya. So atoguna is applicable because that purva varna, that akara is not at the end of a pada, but that will be blocked because this atogune comes as an apavada sutra to akasa varna dirgha. There is a paribhasha, as we already discussed. If a apavada blocks a utsarga which is present later in the sequence, then it cannot block the sutra which is present after that utsarga. That means if once atogune blocks akasa varna dirgha, it cannot block other sutras which are present after akasa varna dirgha. So atogune cannot block pratamayo purva savarnaha. So in this case, pratamayo purva savarnaha is applicable. So we have Ramas in both the cases. At this stage, the next sutra, Tasmat Chaso Napumsi, is also applicable. So when we apply pratamayo purva savarnaha, then that shas pratyaya gets nakara adesha in case of pullinga words. Napumsi, shaso napumsi, shas pratyaya gets nakara adesha. By alontyasya, that nakara comes in the place of the last letter of the pratyaya, that is sakara. So that sakara will be replaced by nakara. So Ramas becomes Raman, and this in the first case, that sakara will be gets converted into visarga. Ramaha in pratama, Raman in ditya bahuvachana. Dirga jasicha and vachandasi. Dirgat, whenever there is dirganta word which is followed by ajadi supratyaya of pratama or ditya vibhakti, then there will be purva savarna dirgha, but this sutra is actually blocking that pratamayo purva savarna in those cases, because the previous sutra was nadichi, that na comes as anurutti from to this sutra also. So whenever there is dirganta word which is followed by ajadi pratyaya, there is scope for pratamayo purva savarna which is blocked by this sutra dirga jasicha. So once it is blocked, then the default sutra akasa varna dirgha is applicable. By that sutra there will be dirga desha, then sakarasya visarga. Even if we apply akasa varna dirgha or pratamayo purva savarna, the forms are same. And in the next sutra vachandasi, in case of in the context of chandas, this whatever we told that by pratamayo purva savarna, that is optional. That means both pratamayo purva savarna can be applied. If you don't apply, akasa varna dirgha will be applied. But in case of this mala plus asa, both the forms, if you apply akasa varna dirgha or pratamayo purva savarna, in both the cases the forms will be same. But in case of some other words which ends with dirgha e or u, the forms will be different when we consider this vachandasi. If we consider pratamayo purva savarna, the form will be different, and if you don't consider pratamayo purva savarna, then the form will be different. So we shall study those in the next classes. So in case of akara, the forms will be same. Okay, the next sutra is amipurvaha. We know whenever a letter ending word is followed by pratyaya, then there will be purva rupa. Purva Rupa. So this A plus A become the first letter, whatever the Purva Varna is there, that comes as Adesha in place of those two letters. So Rama plus Ham, Ramam, Sita plus Ham, Sitam. Next, Pluta Pragruhya Chinityam. Here, whenever a Pluta Akara is followed by Akara, by Pluta Pragruhya Nityam, there will be Prakruti Bhava. There is no Sandhi. And Pragruhya, actually there is only one letter A, which is Pragruhya, which ends with A. All other Pragruhyas, usually they end with other Ach letters. By Idude Dvivachanam Pragruhyam, all the Ikaranta, Ukaranta or Ekaranta are Pragruhya. There is no Akaranta Pragruhya by that sutra. Even by Adasomat, She, or Oth, Sambuddha Shakalya, Setavana, She, Unyaham, Idutavacha Saptamyarte, all these sutras dictate some Pragruhya words which do not end with Akara. By this sutra Nipata Eka Janang, we have as a Pragruhya. So in case of A, here the Purva Varna, the first A, is a Pragruhya, which is followed by Akara of this word Apehi. So it is, since it is Pragruhya and it is followed by an Ach letter, there will be Prakruti Bhava. Angonunasikas Chandasi, Angaha Anunasikah Chandasi Achi. So whenever that ang is followed by any H letter for that matter, there will be Anunasika Adesha. So A becomes, this Niranunasika A becomes Anunasika A when it is followed by any H letter, but we are interested in Akara, so I have taken the example of A. This is about the cases where A is followed by A. Usually the default sutra is Akasavarne Dirgha, but we have to keep in mind all the other sutras. So we have to apply the relevant formulas, the relevant sutras appropriately, looking into the context of the conditions. So next, the cases where Akara is followed by Ik letters. Ik letters means E, U, Ru and Lu. The default sutra is Adgunaha. We have studied this one, but all these sutras which are red in color, they block Adgunaha in specific conditions. So we shall study one by one. First we shall study Adgunaha itself. By Adgunaha, A plus E is equal to A plus U, O, A plus Ru, R, A plus Lu, Al. We have studied the examples also. And the first apavada to Adgunaha is E Tedat Yurso. By this sutra, we studied this one previously, that this sutra has three components, Eti, Edati and Udso. We are interested in that Ud component here. Consider the example of Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachana Pratyaya for the Pratipadikam Vishwavah. Here, that Vakara gets Samprasaranam. There is a sutra, Vahavut. There is a sutra, Vahavut, by which that Vah or Vah Anta words, they will get Samprasaranam of Ut. So that Vakara will be replaced by Ut. So Akara after Vakara it will be present as it is, and it will be, there will be Purva Rupa Sandhi between them by the sutra Samprasarana Cha 61108. So U plus A become U by Samprasarana Cha Purva Rupa Sandhi. Then at this stage, that there is Akara after Vakara in Vishwa. Vishwa ends with Akara, which is followed by U, which is a Ik letter. So by Adgunaha, there should be Gunadesha, that is, there should be A plus O should become O, but by this sutra, there will be Ruddhi instead of Gunadesha. So A plus O, so the Ruddhi is Au. So instead of becoming Vishwoha, it becomes Vishwauha. So it is this is an Apavada Sutra to Adgunaha. The next sutra is Upasarga Dhruti Dhatau. Here Rut, the Taparakarana is there, so it is related to only Rasvaru, and here Akara it can be Rasvar Dirga. So by Adgunaha A plus Ru becomes Ar, but by this sutra Upasarga Dhruti Dhatau there will be Ruddhi Adesha instead of Gunadesha. Consider this example, pra plus ruchyati. By adgunaha it should become prarchati, but it becomes prarchati. There will be ruddhi adesha instead of gunadesha. Whenever akarafya upasarga is followed by rukara, rasva rukarafya dhatu, then only this ruddhi adesha will be there. Otherwise, there will be gunadesha only. By the next sutra is va supyapi shalehe. If the dhatu is derived using a sanadi pratyaya, by adding that sanadi pratyaya to a subantam, then this rule which was told by this previous sutra upasarga dhruti dhatau is optionally done. Pra plus rushabiyati. This rushabiyati is a dhatu which is derived from the subantam rushabam. So it is a atideshika dhatu. So in case of this atideshika dhatus which are derived from subanta, there will be optional ruddhi adesha. Otherwise, by adgunaha there will be gunadesha also. So the form will be prarshabiyati or prarshabiyati. The next sutra usya padantat. Whenever akara is followed by apadanta, akara is followed by us, the word us, there will be pararupa. From yengi pararupam, the anurtya pararupam is there to this sutra. There will be pararupa. So ya plus u becomes that akara plus u becomes u. So ya plus u becomes u. This is about usya padantat. Instead of gunadesha, there is pararupadesha here. Next sutra, pluta pragruhya achinityam. By this sutra, a pluta akara or a pragruhya akara, if it is followed by any ik letter, e, uru or lu, there will be prakruti bhavaha. Krishna idam pasya. Here akara, this a is pluta, it is followed by e, which is a ik letter, there will be prakruti bhava. Angonanasikas chandasi. By this sutra, as we saw in the cases of a plus ka, whenever a is followed by of, ang is followed by any h letter, that a will get anunasika adesha. Then a plus ugraputre, it becomes a ugraputre. Rutyakaha. By rutyakaha, whenever akara or any ak letter, but we are interested in a, so I have taken a. Whenever a is followed by rasva rukara, then there will be prakruti bhavaha, optional prakruti bhava. So deva plus rushi is equal to deva rushi. This is optional. So otherwise, by the application of adgunaha, we have devarshi also. Aplutavad upastite. Whenever a pluta letter is followed by a pluta akara is followed by e of the word iti, then there will be that akara, that pluta akara will behave as if it is apluta. So by adgunaha we have tushleketi. Actually it is not blocking adgunaha. Actually it is even though there is pluta, there is the application of adgunaha, which was not to be done by the sutra pluta pragruhya achinityam. Somehow we can say this is blocking pluta pragruhya achinityam. So here this shlok, this sutra pluta aplutavad upastite, by this sutra we are applying adgunaha. because of this sutra. This is an exception to Prutapragruhya Achinityam. Okay, this is about the cases where A is followed by ik letters. The default sutra is Adgunaha. Next, we are done with A plus A, then A plus ik. So we are left with H letters, A, O, and I, OU. So the default sutra is Ruddhirechi. Whenever akara is followed by any H letter, there will be Purvaparayoho Ekaha Ruddhihi Adeshaha. We studied this. A plus H. H means all these letters. There will be Ruddhi Adesha. Ruddhi means A, I, and Au. So here we get I or Au. Some of the examples we studied. Cha plus Eva, Chaiva, and others. So the next sutra, which is a Apavada to Ruddhirechi, is the first Apavada is Yengi Pararupam. Whenever akara is followed by A or O, there will be Pararupa. This A should be from a Upasarga, and this Yang letter should be from a Dhatu. Then only there will be Pararupam. Upasargat A, Dhatau A or O, then there will be Pararupam. Some of the examples, pra plus ejate is equal to prejate instead of praijate. Here we have pararupa adesha instead of ruddhi adesha. Similarly, para plus voshati paroshati instead of paraushati. The next sutra, yet yedat yudsu. We studied this in case of a plus ik also. We studied there would. Here we are going to study the other two components in there. By Yengi Pararupam, whenever akara of a upasarga is followed by A or O of a dhatu, there will be Pararupa. But in the context of upasargasya A followed by Eti or Edhati, that ekara of Eti or Edati, then there will be Ruddhi instead of Pararupa. So in the case of upa plus eti or upa plus edate, the first ruddhirechi is applicable, but that will be blocked by yengi pararupam because this is from upasarga, this is a dhatu, so a plus a, so yengi pararupam is applicable, but we want ruddhi only. So by blocking this yengi pararupam, we have by edatyursu, we have ruddhi adesha. So upa plus eti upaiti instead of upeti, it is upaiti. Upa plus edhate upaidhate instead of upedhate. Next sutra, Omangoscha. Whenever akara is followed by the word Om, not just O, the word Om, there will be Pararupa Adesha. A plus O becomes O. Shivaya Om is equal to Shivayom. Next, Atogune. So whenever akara is followed by rasvakara is followed by any guna letter, A and O, which are H letters, they are also guna letters. So there will be Pararupa Desha. Vanda plus A is equal to Vande instead of Vandai. Here Ruddhi is blocked and Pararupa is given by Atogune. Next, Nadichi. By Nadichi, whenever akara is followed by a ijadi supratyaya of prathama dvitiya vibhakti, there will not be application of pratamayo purva savarnaha. This is a apvada sutra to pratamayo purva savarnaha. So whenever akara is followed by ijadi supratyaya, there will not be application of pratamayo purva savarnah. So then appropriate sutras will be applied by blocking pratamayo purva savarnah. So that will be blocked. Consider the example of a plus au. Here by pratamayo purva savarnah there should be dirgha a, but that is blocked by nadichi. So since there is no scope for pratamayo purva savarnah because of nadichi, we have the default sutra Ruddhirechi, by which a plus au becomes au only, Rama plus au Ramau. Similarly, Sita plus au. In case of the dirgha akaranta strilinga words, this au pratyaya will be replaced by e. So here we have to consider this e in case of feminine, as well as this is seen in neuter gender words also. So this e, so a plus e by adgunaha a, so Sita plus e is equal to Site in Pratamana Dvitiya Dvivachana. Similarly, vana, here neuter gender word, here also that e adesha will be there. So vana plus e vane by adgunaha. Next, pluta pragruhya achinityam. Whenever a pluta akara or pragruhya akara is followed by any h letter, then there will be prakruti bhava, as we seen in previous cases also. Next, angonunasikas chandasi. Again, as we saw in the previous cases, whenever a of ang is followed by any h letter, here h are also h letters, then there will be anunasika adesha for that a. So there will be anunasika adesha. So in the cases of a plus h, the default sutra is Ruddhirechi, and these are the Apavada sutras. So this is the summary. In this class, we have taken the cases where akara is followed by other h letters. Here we have considered a, here we have considered ik, here h. That completes all h letters. So in tomorrow class, we shall take the other h letters in the Purva Varna position, and we shall study that Badhya Badaka Bhava, as we studied today. So in case of a plus ga, the default sutra akasa varne dirgha, a plus ik adgunaha, a plus h, it is Ruddhirechi, and we have to keep in mind the Apavada sutras. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.